Not too long now, the one who appears to be heading the market is the 12 horse here, Mr. Lula, for the local Otberk team. This one qualified with a Muskerry cert, and it is a Muskerry hunt fixture here today. Called in, off and racing. So 16 fences await the field, just over 3 circuits of the track as they leave the starting area for the 5yo Geldings Maiden. This race kindly sponsored by Dairygold and Pegus horse feeds. They're going along at a steady tempo to the first. Boise, Idaho's up there with Jukebox Johnny. Also prominent on the run to fence number 1 is Mr. Lula. And not too far away either in 4th place is Trundle Along, winner of the Best Turned Out Award. Owen O'Brien might have lost a stirrup there for a second aboard Boise, Idaho, but he's got it back quickly. And his mount is up there sharing the lead with Mr. Lula as they come through the winning post area. Close up in 3rd is the grey horse Jukebox Johnny. And over in 4th place is Trundle Along, who in turn is followed back in the field 5 and 6 then by Tommy Pickles and Val's Charm. After these is Better You Than Me, and another one who is held up in the early stages is Which Way to Bartlemy. So they've got 3 fences then as they enter the back straight to take on this side of the track. And in the centre in the noseband, Mr. Lula, flanked either side by Boise, Idaho. Down the inside, Brian Hass's horse, that's Jukebox Johnny. And back then to find on the inside in the black and white silks is Tommy Pickles in 4th place along with Val's Charm, and then we've got Trundle Along. 2 at the back of the field continue to be Which Way to Bartlemy, and also held up is the mount of Owen Mann, Better You Than Me. So climbing away over this next fence, they are all jumping safely at the moment, and they tighten up as they come round the bend, which will eventually bring them back past their starting point and on the way to this next fence, which will be number 6. Boise, Idaho and Mr. Lula, they are disputing the running, followed a length or so back by Jukebox Johnny, who's sitting down the inside. After these into 4th place, Trundle Along for James Murphy, in turn followed by Tommy Pickles. He sits midfield in company with Val's Charm, and then we've got Which Way to Bartlemy and now the back marker, but only about 8 lengths behind the leader is Better You Than Me. So they're into the home straight for the second time, having completed a lap of the track. So it's tight at the top here, not much to choose between Boise, Idaho, Mr. Lula and Jukebox Johnny. On their coattails, a close 4th then is Trundle Along, and the 2 lengths after these to find Val's Charm, who is just ahead of Tommy Pickles. Further back in the field then to the 2 who whipped them in, and they are Which Way to Bartlemy and Better You Than Me. So 2 laps to go, 10 more fences to take. The first of them comes up and all 8 runners take it safely. So they're on the climb into the back straight for the second time. And Boise, Idaho shares the lead with Mr. Lula. Jukebox Johnny and Trundle Along are running about a length behind that pair. And these 4 now fan out across the track as they approach this first fence in the back straight. So in the centre, Mr. Lula, widest of all in the white and red colours, that's Owen O'Brien aboard Boise, Idaho. Down the inside sits the runner from the Banner County, that's Jukebox Johnny, and then there's a couple of lengths to Trundle Along, who is followed by Tommy Pickles, who's the sole Wexford runner in this field. So over the next one, still moving along at a steady tempo, and as they go on the bend for home for the penultimate time, Mr. Lula just has a half a length advantage from Boise, Idaho. Next up in the field, We have got Jukebox Johnny, and then Trundle Along, Val's Charm, Tommy Pickles, Better You Than Me, and Which Way to Bartlemy. So they're continuing to race into the last mile and a quarter. They've got 6 more fences to jump, and as they make the turn, Jukebox Johnny is edging closer on the inside to now just about take the lead from Mr. Lula. Still with them in third place on the outside is Boise, Idaho, a close fourth. That's Trundle Along. And there's 2 lengths then to Tommy Pickles, who's been put to sleep towards midfield, yet to play his hand. After that one, alongside Tommy Pickles is Val's Charm, and still the 2 at the back of the field, Which Way to Bartlemy and Better You Than Me. So we got a lap to go, 5 fences to jump in this 5-year-old Geldings Maiden, and now rising together are Mr. Lula and Jukebox Johnny. They are to the fore now, just ahead from Boise, Idaho, who's dropped back into third position. Just in behind these, you've got the likes of Trundle Along, Tommy Pickles and Val's Charm. So out into the back straight with 3 fences on this side to take. This is the 4th last they approach. Mr. Lula with Jukebox Johnny. Mr. Lula, Jukebox Johnny. Val's Charm improves in the centre there. The red cap showing of Johnny Barry, a close third now. Boise, Idaho, Tommy Pickles. So at the third last fence, Mr. Lula with Jukebox Johnny, Boise, Idaho, Tommy Pickles creeps closer on the inside now for Brian Lawless to take his place in the picture, and with that one is Val's Charm, and just in behind these in 6th position is Better You Than Me. The 2 who are struggling are Which Way to Bartlemy and Trundle Along, who's dropped away. So off the final bend, they've got 1 to jump and about 2.5 furlongs or so to cover, and out there Mr. Lula has been to the fore all the way. He's been pressed now for the lead by the likes of Jukebox Johnny. Tommy Pickles isn't too far away, neither is Val's Charm, and now Tommy Pickles has put on the indicator and swept to the front round that bend. So Brian Lawless, having placed his mount midfield for most of the journey, has now put his foot to the accelerator, and in a matter of strides this horse has settled the issue. He's gone on by 6 to 8 lengths. Here's the final fence for Tommy Pickles. He's up and over it safely, clear. Down at the last one, staying on in 2nd place there was Better You Than Me, but the €75,000 store, Tommy Pickles, gets off the mark in a point-to-point. He comes on to win well in the end. 2nd went to Jukebox Johnny, 3rd was Boise, Idaho, and they were followed by Mr. Lula, who weakened in the final couple of furlongs to be 4th. Also completing, we had Which Way to Bartlemy and Val's Charm.
The result of the 2nd race: 1st, number 4, 2nd, number 9, 3rd, number 7, number 12 was 4th. 497, number 12 was 4th. And your distances were 10.5 lengths, a half a length, and 8.5 lengths. 10.5 lengths, a half a length, and 8.5. The 3rd race, the open lightweight race for novice riders, sponsored by Brookfield Leisure Centre. There are 5 runners. The runners and riders: number 2, Mr. S.J. Butler, claiming 5. Number 4, Mr. J.P. Ahern claiming 5. Number 5, Mr. S. Tobin. Over to page number 6, Mr. C. Mullins. And to number 7, Mr. A. Power.